Hello, New Hope. Thank you so much for taking a moment to take a look at this video. We are excited that we are at a place where we can reopen once again. And July 12th, we are looking to have our first in-person service. Now, in addition to that, we will continue to provide a service online as well. Our goal is to record or to provide a live viewing continuing on Facebook Live of what we're doing in person to those who would like to stay home. So if you're one of those who are excited about coming out of quarantine but still a little apprehensive, that's okay. That's all right. We still want to provide an option for you to be able to participate in the worship services that are going on as well. And especially for many of the families that have small children, we want to continue to provide this online service for you because we know that coming out into the public with small children is a challenge. And so many of you will probably take the choice to stay home, and that's okay. But we want to take this time right now and just kind of talk through some of the things that we're doing, some of the things you can expect, some of the changes that will be there. And there are some changes, unfortunately. At this point in time, we are going to begin to meet in person, but it's going to be very different. But that's kind of the world we're living in right now. I mean, you go to the grocery store, it's still going to the grocery store, but it's different. Right? It's just a different experience. And so the same idea with coming together to worship, we're still going to be able to worship our Lord and Savior, but there'll be some different restrictions that we have and some things that we won't be able to do that we used to do. It'll look a little different, but it's okay. It's going to be something that we can adjust to, and it won't be forever. And so the main thing is that we can come together and be able to worship together and see one another and talk with one another and have opportunities for fellowship. So let's kind of talk through some of the things. Let me talk with you about a couple of things that we are doing. We're going to have a welcome back team. It's about, it's a handful of folks, so volunteers from the church that are going to just be there to help you as you come. Helping you find maybe the hand sanitizers, letting you know where to put your tithe, helping you find a seat because seating is going to be different. Just to kind of be there to help you kind of work through and think through and answer questions and that kind of thing. So we're going to have a team to help everyone. We will be cleaning the sanctuary as the best we can in the facility the best we can. It'll be a general cleaning every week as we normally would do, but we're going to go back over with Clorox and things and wiping down the handrails and all those common spaces that everyone's going to be touching. We do have some cleaning, cleaning disinfectant that you can use on the pews to help disinfect that area as well. So there's some things that we're going to be doing to help clean and sterilize the facility the absolute best we can so that everyone can stay safe and healthy. And that's important. One of the things we want to just remind you is just using your own best discretion. If you're not feeling well, if you haven't been feeling well, if you show some signs and symptoms of COVID-19 or anything, really, just take the option to stay home. We'll still provide the online service. You can still participate and be there and connect. But we want to just in this time be very extra, use extra caution, especially in these first few weeks of coming back together and doing this once again. So just talk through a couple things that you can expect. Sunday service is going to be at 10 o'clock like always. And so we're going to meet every Sunday, 10 o'clock, just like we normally would. Wednesday night, let me just go ahead and say, Wednesday night we're going to continue to do online. So we won't move to an online or to an in-person Wednesday night Bible study. It's going to continue to be online through WebEx for Wednesday night. But Sunday we'll have the in-person and the online available as well. A couple things that are going to be different when you come is that the fellowship hall is going to be closed. So the bottom floor of the facility will not be available. It'll be completely locked off and closed off for no one. So you won't have access to the kitchen or to anything downstairs at all. It'll only be upstairs coming into the sanctuary. And with that being said, then that means there'll be no kids ministry at this time. So everyone who comes to the service on Sunday everyone's going to be upstairs in the main service for the duration of the service. There'll be no dismissing, going anywhere for any of that. And as well, youth ministry is also going to be on hold, put on hold for a while as well. And with not having the kids ministry going on, we're also going to be closing the playground. And so parents, if you have kids after the service or before the service, they want to go into the playground, the playground's going to be off limits for right now. So we're going to just keep that closed off, at least for the coming weeks. Now let's talk about the nursery just real quick. We will not have regular nursery volunteers, right? And so if you come to the service with a small child, remember, everyone who comes to the service together is going to stay together. And so if you come and you bring a small child, that child will have to stay with you during the service. And so there'll be no dismissing for a nursery volunteer to drop off your children. We won't be able to do that at this time. The nursery will be open for just providing care for your child. If you need to change diapers, something like that, you can go in to do that. But again, the toys will be off limits. There'll be no, diapers available or anything from the church. You'll be all of whatever you bring, you'll have it for your child. Obviously, the sink in there will have soap and paper towels and things like that. But outside of that, the nursery is simply just for going in to change diapers or care for your child and come back out. It's not to go in and spend time in the service there. It's just for that only. Let's see. The seating in the sanctuary will be a bit different. We are going to be utilizing the full space of the sanctuary to be able to create some social distance for everyone, and pews will be marked off. And so that every pew will have a section of it in which people can sit in it, and there'll be a portion of the pew that you can't sit, and that will help stagger people throughout the sanctuary. Just to kind of help create some extra space. We have a good sized sanctuary, so we have a lot of space to be able to spread out, and I think it'll work out good for us. Giving, we will not have our traditional ushers coming through with the passing the offering plates. We have an offering box that will be centrally located. And so that will be something that will be pointed out to you, so you can come in at the beginning of the service or the end of the service and drop your tithes and offerings in that box, and that's how we'll do that. In the pews, we are removing all Bibles and all paper and pencil and envelopes. All that stuff is going to be removed. So bring your own Bible to church. It sounds funny, but bring your own Bibles, and we won't provide for those right now in the seats at all. Again, just to reiterate about seating in the sanctuary, whoever you come to church with is who you sit with, right? So when you come in, some of the youth, if you want to go sit with your friends, it's whomever you show up with is who you sit with in the sanctuary. So let's real quick talk about face coverings. Because this is an important thing, and I know that some of you probably have some questions about this and maybe even some concerns about this. But we want to do everything we can to follow the mandates of what the state is issuing for us as the whole state reopens. And so we're going to follow the guidelines. And if they're requiring face masks indoors, and so therefore we need to wear face masks indoors. And so that's what we're going to do. And so you come to church, you're going to be required to have a face mask, or a face covering, I should say. It doesn't have to be, a specific kind of mask. It just needs to be a face covering when you come to the service. And I know that, that might be a discouragement for some of you. And unfortunately, that's just where we are. And we want to make sure, we want to be mindful that as Christians, the Bible mandates us to walk accordingly to the government's, to the government that oversees us wherever it is we live. That's Romans 13:1. Read it for yourself. Actually, the whole first part of Romans 13 there talks very specifically about obeying the laws and obeying the officials and the government that is set before you. And so we want to do that. As Christians, we want to honor that, and we want to be, to respect that and to follow through with what they're laying before us. And so that's what we are hoping to do. That's what we're aiming to do. To be able to do those things with each other and to gather together, but to do so in a way that we are mindful of what the government has, but at the same time we have an opportunity to come together and celebrate Christ together as well. For as far as fellowship time, the best thing that I can say is that the best way for us to find the fellowship time after or during our services or whatever would be to do that outside. So once the service is over, if there's some conversation we want to catch up on, the best place for us to do that is to do that outside, because there won't be a lot of space indoors. There'll be some, but the sanctuary is only as big as the sanctuary is. And it would probably be better for us to move fellowship and conversations outside. And so just kind of think through that, as we gather and as we dismiss at the end of the service, we can still talk and hang out and just kind of catch up with one another outside the service. But we want to just be mindful of that especially this first couple of weeks, it might seem kind of rigid, it might seem awkward, but we'll figure it out together. The good news is that we get to come back together. That's the good news. And so, with all of that being said, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to talk about with you. If I have created some questions in your head, please reach out to me. Please let me know. This may not be the only video that I do of instructions. I might do another one next week, depending on if there's more things that come up that need to be clarified. But I'd be more willing to do that. But if you have questions, please reach out to me. And we're just excited to get together. I'm excited to see you, next Sunday. For those of you who will continue staying home, no worries. We're excited that we're finding a way that all of us can still continue to connect together and to worship together. So God bless you guys. I am looking forward to next week, and I know many of you are as well. So again, God bless you, and I cannot wait to see you next Sunday. So God bless.